Okay, in this video I'm going to show my method for keeping score at a Little League baseball game. I really like this because it allows me to easily keep track of stats that we want to work on in practice. And so I can quickly go back, look at the scoreboard, the scorebook, and see what we need to work on for the next game. To start, I always bring two colors. The red pen really makes it easy for me to look back and see the highlights really quick, and I'll show you how I use the red pen. So our team's going to be batting. I write the away team at the top so I can keep track whether we're in the top or the bottom of an inning. And what I do first is I take my red pen and I write the number of the other team's pitcher right above the first batter. Okay, that way I can keep track of who pitched for the other team. I also put a dash, and after the dash I'm going to put the number of pitches that the pitcher threw that inning. And I'll show you how I keep track of that. Okay, so first batter is Barry. First pitch to Barry is going to be a strike. Now, I like to write numbers in the balls and strikes boxes instead of just filling it in with a dot or coloring it all the way in, because then you can see things like first pitch strikes and whether the batter was going deep in the count, whether the batter was swinging early, and also this helps me keep track of how many pitches each batter faced. Okay, so let me go ahead and fill that in for Barry. Barry, first pitch strike, second pitch ball, strike, ball, ball, and then if there's a foul ball, I also want to keep track of that. So I actually write a 6 right there. The sixth pitch was a foul ball. Seventh pitch was another ball. Barry got walked. I don't write the number for the last pitch because you always know what the last pitch was, and I can keep track of the outcome in a different way. Okay, so Barry got walked, so I'm going to send him to first. Next up is Alex. Alex takes a strike. And then Alex is going to get a hit. He's going to hit a fly ball to the third baseman. Third baseman's going to catch that, so that's a F5. That's one out. And what I also like to do with the red pen is I like to keep track of contact. And our team, we're working on making sure that everybody gets contact. So I'm going to draw a line from home plate to third base. Okay. Next up is Anthony. Anthony's actually going to swing at the first pitch. He's going to swing at the first pitch, and it's going to be a grounder to the shortstop. The shortstop misses it, and so I'm going to count that as an error 6. Anthony gets to first, and again with my red pen, grounder to shortstop. Now what I also like to do is I like to circle the errors with the red pen, because then it makes it easier to go back and see how many errors we had when we were on defense, and then we can work on which players need to have more practice with grounders or with throwing. Okay, next up is Kyle. Kyle's also going to swing at the first pitch, but Kyle's going to hit a single. He's going to hit a blooper to right. So I'm going to draw that with my red pen, blooper to right. Then I'm going to also circle with my red pen that he got a single. And again, the red pen is just to highlight where we got hits, and we can see which players are hitting and which players are making contact. Okay, also that happened on that play is Anthony advances to second. So Anthony advances to second with that single. And if you're paying attention, you notice that I forgot up here to advance Barry on this error. And Barry gets to third on that single. Okay, so now I have a runner on first, second, and third. And you should be able to check, and you're sitting in the dugout, you can look out and see, make sure where everybody is. Okay, next up is Bryce. Bryce, first pitch strike, ball, strike, and then Bryce is actually going to go strikeout looking. That's our second out. Okay, now for Aaron. Aaron's going to take 2 strikes in a row, and then he's going to make contact. He's going to hit another grounder to the shortstop. And the shortstop, the shortstop is going to make another error. So another error, E6. Okay, and then also on this play, Barry's going to score, E6. And when someone scores, I color it in lightly. Anthony's going to get to third, E6. Kyle's going to get to second on that, E6. Okay, and the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I circle that error with a red pen, and then I want to draw where he made contact. I don't want to circle all of these E6s because then that will make me overcount how many errors we got. Instead, I just like to circle the one that's allow the person to get onto base. Okay, so now again, we have bases loaded, first, second, and third. Julio comes up to bat. Okay, Julio is going to swing at the first pitch. It's going to be another grounder to the shortstop, but this time the shortstop is going to field it, and he's going to step on second and get the third out. So I call this fielder's choice 6. I do want to keep track that Julio made contact. Aaron's the one that got out on the force play, so I'm going to write FC6, and I'm going to put a 3 there. Okay, that ends the inning. So I'm going to draw a thick line here that overlaps the innings, and then I'm going to scribble out the rest so that I don't accidentally draw on that in the next inning. Now I'm going to go back and count 2 things while we're switching sides here. I'm going to count pitches for their pitcher, and I'm going to count runs for our team. So I always add 1 because remember I don't keep track of the last pitch in the little boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So the pitcher had 19 pitches. Put that after the dash. Okay, great. All right, now we come up again in the top of the second inning. We start off with Ken. First pitch to Ken is a ball, then a strike, and then Ken actually hits a grounder to the first baseman. First baseman bobbles it. That's an E3. So I'm going to draw in red pen there, and I'm going to circle that E3, and I'm going to draw that he got to first. Okay, now Lou comes up. Lou takes a ball, and that ball is actually a wild pitch. And so what I do on a wild pitch that advances a runner is I write in red, wild pitch, WP. Okay, next pitch to Lou, because as we want to, in red, the reason it's in red is because we want to keep track of wild pitches and know for practice. Next pitch to Lou is a ball. Okay, but this time Ken, feeling aggressive, all right, he steals third. It's not a wild pitch. I'm going to call that a stolen base, SB. Okay, next pitch to Lou. Lou hits to second base. Second baseman throws it to first. 4-3, 4-3, first out. But on that play, scored a run. Ken is able to score 4-3 and color that in. Okay, next up is Barry. Barry, first pitch, strike, ball, strike, ball, foul ball, and then again, Barry gets walked. Barry gets walked a lot. Okay, so he makes it to first on a walk. Next up is Alex. Alex is going to swing at the first pitch, and it's going to be a hit to the shortstop. And the shortstop, and this time, makes a double play. 6-4-3. 6-4-3 means shortstop to second base to first base. Alex will be the third out, and the second out is here. Barry, 6-4-3. Okay, I also want to make sure that I keep track of that contact that Alex made to the shortstop. Draw my line here and come down. Okay, there's one thing that I forgot to do at the beginning. I'll write the number of the pitcher. So pitcher number 10 pitched again. Then I'm going to count his pitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this inning he threw 14 pitches. And I also want to make sure that I'm keeping track of runs. So we got 1 run in the second inning, so I'll write the number 1 up here. And then we got 1 run in the first inning, so I'm going to write the number 1 up there. Okay, so I'll stop there, but I will just say also, when I take this to practice now I'm going to think about contact and hits when we're batting, all right? So it looks like our team is actually doing pretty well. Barry's going deep into the count. He didn't make any contact, but he's battling deep in the count. Alex, on the other hand, is not going deep in the count. He's hitting the first or second, he's swinging at the first or second pitch and hitting it. He's making contact every time, but looks like we can work on maybe getting Alex some more power. Anthony made contact that first inning, grounder to the shortstop. Kyle, on the other hand, had a hit, so this is our team's only hit in these 2 innings. Bryce struck out looking, so maybe we can work with Bryce on that. on swinging, being aggressive on the when there's 2 strikes, and then two more contact in that first inning that were both grounders to the shortstop. So if I'm looking at this, I can see like our team hits a lot of grounders. We hit a lot of grounders to the shortstop. Okay, so maybe we can adjust our batting to work on that. Okay, so now on the flip side, if I'm thinking about on defense, if I was the defensive team, I would look at errors. So it looks like our shortstop had a couple errors. We could work with him on grounders. It looks like we gave up some bases on a wild pitch. We gave up 1 base in this case on a wild pitch, and an error for our first baseman. So those are some things that we can work on. And we can also think about pitching, pitch count. Pitcher threw 19 pitches and then 14 pitches. Of those 19 pitches, I could go through and see how many were strikes and how many were balls. I could see how many batters he threw a first pitch strike to. Look, these first 4 batters, first 5 batters, first 6, 7 batters, all 7 of these batters he threw first pitch strikes, which is great. I can also see how deep in the count, what's happening when he goes deep in the count. Am I seeing a lot of 1s and 2s in the strikes and then a lot of 3, 4, 5s in the balls? It's looking like the other team, the batting team, is not taking our pitcher deep into the count. So that means, to me, he's throwing strikes early. And you can see that there's a lot of 1s and 2s in the strikes. Okay, so I hope this is helpful in managing practice and using the scorecard to help you with your practice.